Ladies and gentlemen, attractiveness isn't always about what we say, how we look, or the attention we demand. Some of the most magnetic people in the world don't try to be noticed, they just are. They carry an effortless presence, a quiet confidence, and energy that draws others in without a single word. It's not about being the loudest person in the room or trying to impress everyone you meet. It's about the habits, the small details, the unspoken qualities that make you stand out without even trying. Because true attraction isn't about forcing connections, it's about becoming the kind of person that people naturally want to be around. And the best part, it has nothing to do with luck and everything to do with who you choose to become. Attractiveness isn't always about looks, wealth, or charm. Sometimes the most attractive people are the ones who carry themselves with an effortless presence. People who draw others in without even trying. It's not about being loud or flashy, it's about embodying qualities that create a natural magnetism. One of the first habits that make you silently attractive is self-assurance. People are naturally drawn to those who are comfortable in their own skin. It's not about arrogance, but about a quiet confidence that says, I know who I am. When you carry yourself with certainty, others will naturally respect and admire you. Then there's the habit of active listening. In a world where everyone wants to be heard, those who genuinely listen stand out. When you give someone your full attention without interrupting, without waiting for your turn to speak, you make them feel valued. And that feeling is rare and powerful. Another powerful habit is emotional control. The ability to stay composed, especially in challenging situations, is incredibly attractive. It signals strength and stability, and people gravitate toward those who don't let circumstances dictate their emotions. Equally important is the way you carry yourself. Body language speaks before words do. An open posture, steady eye contact, and a relaxed presence all signal confidence and approachability. People might not always be able to explain why they're drawn to you, but nonverbal cues often say more than words ever could. Authenticity is another silent force of attraction. There's something captivating about people who are unapologetically themselves. They don't try to fit in, they simply exist as they are. And in doing so, they give others permission to do the same. One habit that truly sets people apart is their ability to bring value without expecting anything in return. Whether it's offering knowledge, encouragement, or simply being there for someone, giving selflessly makes you someone others want to be around. It fosters deep connections built on genuine appreciation. A sense of purpose is magnetic. People who have direction, who wake up every day with a sense of mission, exude an energy that others find inspiring. It doesn't have to be world-changing, but having something that fuels you makes you stand out. There's also the power of maintaining a bit of mystery. You don't have to share everything about yourself all at once. People who reveal themselves gradually create intrigue. It's not about being secretive, but about letting others discover you over time. Kindness, real and unforced, is undeniably attractive. The way you treat people when no one is watching says everything about your character. When kindness is woven into your daily interactions, people notice, even if they don't say anything. Another habit that makes you silently attractive is independence. You don't need constant validation or approval. When you're comfortable being alone, making decisions for yourself, and pursuing your own interests, it sends a strong message of self-sufficiency. And finally, a sense of humor, especially the kind that isn't forced but comes naturally, is one of the most magnetic traits you can have. It lightens the atmosphere, puts people at ease, and makes interactions effortless. People are drawn to those who make them feel seen and heard. Think about the moments in your life when you truly connected with someone. It probably wasn't because they impressed you with their achievements or dominated the conversation. It was because in their presence you felt understood. You felt like you mattered. That's the kind of energy people gravitate toward, not the one that demands attention, but the one that gives it. Most people listen with the intent to reply. They're waiting for their turn, formulating their next sentence, preparing a response before the other person has even finished speaking. But the most magnetic individuals, they listen to understand. They make eye contact, they nod, they absorb the words being said instead of just hearing them. They don't just wait for their turn to speak. They make the other person feel like, in that moment, they are the most important person in the world. And something powerful happens when people feel truly listened to. They open up, they relax, they feel safe. And in that space of safety, real connection happens. Not because of shared interests or mutual experiences, but because one person created an environment where the other felt valued. It's not about being silent or never sharing your thoughts. It's about shifting the focus from being interesting to being interested. Because the people we remember most aren't necessarily the ones with the most fascinating stories, but the ones who made us feel like our stories mattered. And when you can make someone feel like their words, their thoughts, their presence has significance, they will always want to be around you. True confidence isn't about being the loudest person in the room. It's not about proving your worth to others, demanding attention, or constantly reminding people of your accomplishments. That's not confidence. That's insecurity in disguise. Real confidence doesn't need to shout because it speaks for itself. It's the quiet, steady presence of someone who knows exactly who they are and doesn't feel the need to convince anyone else. We've all seen people who dominate conversations, who try to impress with their words, their status, their achievements, and yet there's something about them that feels off, like they're performing rather than simply existing. On the other hand, there are those who walk into a room and immediately command respect. Not because they demand it, but because their energy naturally exudes it. They don't need to prove anything, they just are. True confidence comes from self-assurance. It's built from the inside out, not borrowed from external validation. It's the ability to trust yourself, to own your strengths without arrogance and your flaws without shame. It's walking into any situation with the quiet understanding that you belong, not because someone else said so, but because you've already decided that for yourself. And the most magnetic part? Confident people don't compete for attention. They don't need to. They don't shrink themselves to make others comfortable, nor do they feel the need to overpower the space they occupy. Instead, they move through life with an ease that makes people take notice. Not because they ask for it, but because their presence naturally draws others in. It's in the way they carry themselves, the way they hold eye contact without hesitation, the way they speak calmly, deliberately, without rushing to fill the silence. The way they're perfectly comfortable being quiet when there's nothing to say, because they don't measure their worth by how much space they take up in a conversation, and that's what makes confidence so powerful. It's not about making others see you, it's about already seeing yourself. It's about knowing your value, owning your space, and understanding that the right people will recognize it without you having to force it. Your energy speaks before your words do. Long before you introduce yourself, before you share your thoughts or opinions, people have already felt something about you. They may not be able to explain it, but they sense it. Your energy, how you move, how you hold yourself, the way you react to the world, tells a story before you ever open your mouth. Think about the last time you met someone who immediately commanded attention. It wasn't because they were the loudest or the flashiest. It was because of how they carried themselves, their posture, their presence, the way they moved through the space. There's something powerful about a person who enters a room with quiet confidence, someone who doesn't demand attention but naturally receives it. It's the way they stand tall, make eye contact, and move with intention. It's the unspoken message that they belong wherever they are. And just as people are drawn to those with strong, positive energy, they can also sense insecurity, doubt, or hesitation. When someone slouches, avoids eye contact, or fidgets anxiously, it sends a message. One they may not even realize they're sending. People don't just hear what you say, they read your presence. They pick up on whether you believe in yourself, whether you are at ease in your own skin, and whether you radiate an energy that makes them feel comfortable or uneasy. Your energy isn't just about confidence, it's also about how you respond to situations, the way you react to pressure, to unexpected challenges, to discomfort. All of it shapes how others perceive you. When things don't go as planned, do you panic or do you stay composed? Do you react emotionally or do you take a breath and handle things with clarity? A person who remains calm and grounded in difficult moments instantly becomes someone others trust and admire. It's also in the little things. The way you listen, the way you engage, the way you make people feel when they're around you. When you walk into a conversation, do you bring warmth and openness or do you carry stress and tension? People may forget what you say, but they will never forget how you made them feel. And the best part? You have complete control over the energy you bring into a room. You don't need to be the most outgoing person to have presence. You don't need to be the most talkative or the most charismatic. You just need to be intentional. Stand tall, move with purpose, and let your energy do the speaking. Because before anyone hears a single word from you, they've already felt who you are. The most captivating people are those with a sense of purpose. There's something magnetic about individuals who wake up each day with intention, with direction, with a fire inside them that fuels everything they do. It's not about being the most successful or the most accomplished. It's about having something that drives you, something that gives your life meaning beyond just going through the motions. When someone has a sense of purpose, it changes the way they move, the way they speak, and the way they interact with the world. Their eyes light up when they talk about what excites them. Their presence feels alive, full of energy, full of direction. They don't just exist, they are actively creating, building, pursuing something bigger than themselves. And that energy, it's contagious. People want to be around it. They want to feel it for themselves. Think about the people who inspire you the most, the ones who leave a lasting impression. It's not because they have everything figured out, but because they have something they're chasing, an idea, a mission, a dream that pulls them forward. When you have a purpose, you don't waste time seeking approval or trying to fit in. You are too busy moving towards something that matters to you. And that kind of focus, that kind of drive, makes others take notice. Purpose gives you resilience. When you know what you're working toward, setbacks don't break you, they push you to keep going. People respect that. They admire those who don't quit when things get tough, who stay committed even when no one is watching. That unwavering determination is what separates those who simply talk about ideas from those who actually bring them to life. And purpose doesn't have to mean changing the world in some grand, dramatic way. It's not about chasing fame or fortune. It can be as simple as being deeply invested in your craft, in your work, in making a difference in the lives of others, no matter how big or small. What matters is that you have something that fuels you, something that gives you a reason to wake up with excitement instead of just routine. Because at the end of the day, people don't just admire those who are passionate, they are drawn to them. Passion makes you stand out in a world that often feels indifferent. It makes people want to be part of your journey, to learn from you, to support you. And when you live with purpose, you don't have to chase attention. The right people, the right opportunities, and the right energy will naturally find their way to you. And that's the beauty of it. When you live with purpose, when you move with intention, you don't have to force anything. You don't have to chase people, impress them, or convince them of your worth. Your energy, your presence, your passion, it all speaks for itself. Because in the end, attraction isn't about being the loudest, the flashiest, or the most noticed. It's about the quiet power of who you are, the way you make others feel, and the undeniable pull of someone who is fully, unapologetically alive.